Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're looking into the fascinating world of quantum computing. And specifically, we're focusing on a company called SEALSQ Corp and its role in, well, post-quantum security.
That's right. And for you, our listener, the idea here is to really get a clear, insightful handle on this complex field, without getting totally swamped by the technical jargon.
We've pulled together quite a bit of material for this exploration. There's a pretty candid Reddit discussion about where quantum computing actually stands today.
And we also have financial reports, company announcements directly from SEALSQ, plus a broader report looking at the growth projections for the quantum security market itself.
So our mission today is to unpack what's really happening in this cutting-edge area. We want to understand where SEALSQ fits in and, importantly, what the potential implications might be, especially if you're thinking about it from an investment angle.
Okay, so where should we start? Maybe with that big picture view from the Reddit discussion. It definitely offers a, let's say, more grounded perspective than some of the headlines.
I think so. What really jumped out at me was this shared feeling that quantum computing is still fundamentally in the research phase. There's no sort of obvious path to making consistent money yet. Not even for the giants like Google or IBM.
That's a key takeaway. The sheer scale needed, the costs involved, the error correction challenges, they're all significant hurdles. It suggests that, despite all the buzz, commercial viability for broad applications is still some way off.
And that discussion also touched on something interesting about funding, didn't it? About how smaller companies emerged, partly because academic funding wasn't quite there.
Right. It seems venture capital saw an opportunity and stepped in, essentially funding researchers and then owning the resulting technology. That's perhaps a different model than you might expect for such foundational science.
It could shape how the field develops, couldn't it? More commercial drivers, maybe?
Potentially, yes. Having venture capital hold key early IP means future directions might be steered more by market opportunities than, say, pure scientific exploration. It's something to watch.
The Reddit thread also helped define what only solvable by quantum computers actually means. We're not talking about slightly faster calculations.
Not at all. It means problems that are genuinely beyond what even today's most powerful supercomputers could ever hope to tackle. That sets a very, very high bar for where quantum computing will first make a practical impact.
Which brings us back to the near-term market questions. Scale, cost, errors. They mentioned those are still big issues.
Huge issues. But there was an interesting counterpoint made about QKD, quantum key distribution. The argument there is that QKD offers a security guarantee, proving communication hasn't been intercepted, that classical computing just can't match. So a demonstrable quantum advantage, maybe?
Although it's fair to say some on that thread were pretty skeptical about quantum ever truly outperforming classical computers in a practical sense across the board.
True, there's definitely skepticism out there. But that mention of QKD security leads us nicely into the broader quantum security market. We have that report projecting some really significant growth.
Significant is maybe an understatement. Going from around $0.7 billion today to possibly $10 billion by 2030, that's a compound annual growth rate over 50%. That's, well, huge.
Yes. And the engine behind that growth is the looming threat, the potential for future quantum computers to break the encryption we rely on today. So sectors like finance, defense, telecoms, they're all looking very closely at this.
And the solutions driving this market growth are things like post-quantum cryptography or PQC.
Exactly. PQC, which means developing new algorithms resistant to quantum attacks. Then there's QKD, which we just mentioned, also the idea of a quantum internet, and quantum random number generators, or QRNGs, for creating truly unpredictable encryption keys.
It feels less hypothetical now, too, with NIST apparently having finalized some quantum-resistant standards. That seems like a pretty concrete step from a major standards body.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
NIST setting those standards sends a strong signal. It validates the threat and provides a path forward for organizations needing to upgrade their security. The urgency is real.
Okay, so bringing it back to SEALSQ, where do they fit into this picture?
Their focus seems to be semiconductors, public key infrastructure, PKI, and specifically post-quantum tech for secure IoT applications. And they're part of WiseKey International Holding.
What seems key to their strategy is this pivot. They're actively moving from traditional semiconductors towards developing these specialized quantum-resistant chips. That's a major strategic shift, not just a small product tweak. It needs real investment and focus.
And we see signs of that focus in their recent activity, right? Their upcoming AGM agenda has post-quantum investment highlighted. Plus, they appointed an expert in AI and digital identity,
Yeah.
seemingly to boost their quantum-resistant crypto efforts.
And hosting that Quantum and Space Day in France, that sounds like actively showcasing what they can do in this very specific area, trying to connect with the right audience, potential customers or partners.
Makes sense. But how is the market reacting right now? Looking at their stock,
Yeah.
it's been volatile, trading around, what, $2.60 recently, with some forecasts suggesting it might dip further near term. Yeah, the market view seems mixed. You've got one analyst with a strong buy and a $6 price target, quite optimistic. But then TipRank's AI analysis is more neutral. It points to their cash reserves and the potential in post-quantum R&D, but it also flags the declining revenues as a concern. So that volatility in the stock price really reflects this uncertainty, this tension between future potential and current financial performance.
Let's dig into those financials a bit more. That revenue decrease in fiscal 2024, it was pretty significant year over year. The company connects it to this industry shift they're navigating.
Right. And the net loss also widened considerably in 2024. That's definitely something investors will note. On the other hand, they do have a substantial cash cushion, over $84 million. That gives them runway.
Runway to invest, presumably. And their debt-to-equity ratio seems okay at around 10%.
And critically, their planned R&D spending for 2025 is up significantly by 44% year over year to over $7 million. That's a clear signal they're prioritizing this quantum-resistant tech development.
They also mention a sales pipeline, don't they? Something like $93 million in potential opportunities for 2026 through 2028.
Yes, and a good chunk of that, over 40 opportunities, is tied specifically to their TPM quantum-resistant technology. So they see a path to commercializing these investments down the line.
Okay, but who are they up against? We mentioned IBM, Google.
Right.
Those are giants also investing heavily here.
They are. SEALSQ seems to be trying to carve out a niche with its own proprietary hardware. They're highlighting specific chips, like the QS7001 and the QVault TPM, aiming for a 2025 launch. That focus on specialized hardware could be their differentiator.
And targeting specific industries like defense, healthcare, smart energy, where security needs are paramount and likely early adopters.
Seems like a sensible approach.
Sure.
Plus, there are hints of strategic collaborations maybe with NVIDIA, given the RISC-V chip work, and potential government contracts could also be very important in this space.
It also looks like they're thinking beyond just the chips themselves, moving into cloud-based quantum services.
Which could be very important for accessibility, right? Making these advanced capabilities available without needing massive upfront investment from users.
So things like quantum-enhanced cryptography, using those quantum random number generators, integrating quantum-resistant algorithms into cloud security, providing simulation tools.
It all points towards a more service-oriented approach alongside the hardware. Their investment in Calibra for a quantum-as-a-service platform fits right into that strategy, making these tools easier for businesses to use.
And this ties into securing critical infrastructure too, doesn't it? Using their secure microcontrollers and things like electrical grids.
Absolutely. They're positioning their quantum-resistant tech as a way to bolster the resilience of IoT networks. Think about smart grids, power substations, transmission line sensors. These are becoming increasingly connected and vulnerable.
So the idea is their chips can help ensure the data flowing from these devices is authentic, hasn't been tampered with, using these next-gen crypto algorithms.
Precisely. It's about building trust in the operational data, helping grid operators spot problems or cyber attacks much earlier, especially crucial as these systems face both environmental and cyber threats.
One last piece, though, is the regulatory environment for semiconductors. Our sources suggest this is a major challenge.
Oh, definitely. Compliance is getting more complex. You've got environmental rules like REACH and TSCA, trade regulations, export controls, and the whole geopolitical situation, semiconductors being so critical for defense, just adds another layer of complexity.
So for a company like SEALSQ, managing their supply chain, vetting suppliers, ensuring compliance, that's a significant operational hurdle.
It requires robust systems and careful partnerships. Working with distributors who have the right certifications, ISO standards, ESD standards, anti-counterfeiting like AS6281 becomes essential. It's about managing risk in a really complex global landscape.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together for you, the listener. What's the takeaway here? We've seen quantum computing is this field with enormous potential, clearly, but it's still facing real challenges for near-term profitability and widespread use.
Right. And SEALSQ Corp is deliberately positioning itself in a key part of that future, quantum security. That market looks set for explosive growth as everyone wakes up to the threat quantum computers pose to current cybersecurity.
SEALSQ definitely shows promise. They have a clear strategy, they're investing heavily in R&D, they've got cash on hand. But you have to balance that against the current financials, the revenue dip, the net loss, and the stock's volatility. Analyst views are positive, but maybe the broader market is still a bit cautious.
Their moves into cloud services and focusing on critical infrastructure security are interesting potential growth areas. But as we just discussed, successfully navigating that complex semiconductor regulatory environment will be absolutely key to their success too.
So this whole exploration leaves you with a pretty important question to ponder, doesn't it? How will these advances in quantum computing and the parallel development of quantum-resistant tech actually impact the security of your data, your systems, maybe even your investments in the coming years?
It's definitely a space that requires ongoing attention.
Yeah.
Things are moving fast. Thank you for joining us to explore this fascinating and important topic.
We really hope this was insightful. We definitely encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, like this session if you found it useful, and please do leave comments with your thoughts or any further questions you might have.